Hi and good afternoon, good evening YouTube viewers. This is Kirk again with a quick string trimmer update. I was in Home Depot today, saw something that I knew would work good for me as an extra backup and would maybe be useful for many of you out there who have a string trimmer or come across a great deal on a string trimmer and want to upgrade it to a great string trimmer. So that's what the video is about today. It's about upgrading a basic string trimmer to make it a fantastic string trimmer for you. I believe Echo straight shaft string trimmers are the best in the industry, with my highest recommendation for the typical homeowner with a residential property, in a subdivision, in a relatively like acre size or smaller, would be the Echo SRM 225. I believe that is the best value string trimmer out there. It has enough power to get most residential applications taken care of for you. I think it punches above its weight class in terms of the price and the performance and the features, and we'll talk about that maybe in an upcoming video. Not everyone, especially the typical homeowner, is going to be able to spring for an Echo SRM 2620T. This has the high torque head gearbox on it. We'll talk about that at a future comparison, maybe between that unit and the SRM 266 next to it. This unit here in Canada will run you about $600 from a dealer with tax, and the 266 will run you around $450 from a big box like Home Depot. So to me, those are probably putting them out of the price range of a lot of home users. And while they're amazing trimmers because they have a speed feed head, they are somewhat limited in their applications. They're just a trimmer. So what I'm going to show you is how you can turn a budget trimmer that I think has all of the power and capabilities that an average homeowner could need into almost as good and certainly as serviceable for the features and benefits of a speed feed head is something like these Toro two-stroke attachment capable trimmers. So they're attachment capable because they have a hand turn screw right here that allows this shaft to pull out, and you can put in, I just put a few attachments. There's a blower, a straight bladed edger, hedge trimmer, pole saw. I also have a sweeper, a tiller, brush cutters. So there's a whole assortment of attachments that are available that will turn a budget trimmer that if you can still buy these at Home Depot in the States, I think they're around $199. They may have discontinued them, but if you can find them used on Kijiji or Marketplace and they're a good price, I say pick it up, because you can often buy attachments for cheap on those same locations. So for example, a pole saw here, I got it brand new in a box for $20, never used. I think it goes for around $100 retail. So prices like that, as much as I would like an Echo Pause unit, they're well above the $600 mark, and for the frequency that I need it to do some of these simple jobs, it just wasn't worth it for me at this point to get a pause unit. If I find one for a great price, or I just can't resist, I will go and get one. But back to the good value. So recently on Marketplace, I saw this Toro string trimmer here that was in excellent condition, but you can see it's missing a part. It doesn't have the spool in its complete. It was a color Real Easy feed. The spool was Real Easy, and it didn't have that, so I was able to get it for $40 Canadian, cheap. And we're going to show you how we turn it from a non-working, non-serviceable straight shaft trimmer into one just like this one here with a speed feed head on it, which is exactly the same head as what's on these two higher end Echo string trimmers. So let's take it over to the table and have a look at it. We're going to get it switched over to a speed feed. So when I was in Home Depot today, they had an open box for the Speed Feed 400, which normally retails for around $45 Canadian plus tax, so putting it up around $50. I think in the US the same thing is around $30 to $35 out the door. So great way to take a $40 trimmer for another $50 for less than $100, and you've got a straight shaft trimmer that's attachment capable for under $100. That's assuming that the power head runs well and works great. So here are the parts. I knew what parts I needed because I've done it before, and I knew what parts were there, and they were all there. So I had no problem picking this up for half price, was $22 and change, so I couldn't say no. So I've laid out the parts that we're going to need are already here. I'm going to show you how to change that over. Okay, so it comes with all different types of adapter components. Okay, you can see here I put in the one that I need, which is this reddish purple colored adapter with the black cup. Okay, so there are great instructions, but let me just make this really simple for you. This white cup, you need it if you have a curved shaft trimmer. If you have a straight shaft trimmer, you're going to go with the black one that's already in the unit. And the most important thing to remember about these straight shaft units is Tighten is opposite to what it normally is. So Tighten is counterclockwise instead of clockwise. Alright, so let's go through making this changeover. Just give me a moment while I set my phone camera up here for you, and hopefully you'll be able to see what we're doing on the table. Alright, that looks like that'll work. Okay, so really easy. We'll walk through it. Like I said, there are instructions in here along with all of the adapter components, but hopefully after this tutorial you're not going to need those, or at least when you do look at them, looking at what we're doing today in this video is going to help make sense and make it a lot easier because you'll have seen it done. So pretty simple. Only tools we're going to need, you can use an Allen key or any screwdriver. I'm using a Phillips screwdriver because it fits. Always good to have a pocket knife with you. You might need that to pry things open. With just the butt of it is what I was using. So let's go through getting this no good. I mean, it would be good if it had the bottom and the guts, but it doesn't have that. So instead of it just taking up space in my shed, let's turn it into a usable backup for the backup for the backup for the backup. But it also gives us another power head attachment for some of the attachment capable items that I have. So what you're going to see is when you spin, okay, so this is the gearbox here. When you spin the head of the trimmer, there's going to be a hole. I hope you can see that. There's a hole in that lines up. We're going to put your Allen key, or in this case a screwdriver, in the hole, and we're going to turn it. To loosen it, we're going to turn it clockwise. So there we go. Okay, so it's probably going to be a little harder than that. I've had this one apart already so that we could make the video. So there it is. It's off. And here's what you're left with. There's a spacer and your threaded end. Just leave that because you're going to use one of these depending on what make and model your trimmer is to put it together. Okay, so here's where we take the parts of our speed feed head. You've got the top cap, you got your cup, you've got your adapter bolt nut inside, and then you've got your spool, and then you've got your end cap with the spring. And these you can replace just the end cap and spring if you wear them out from bump feeding too much over the season. But I'll give you a quick tip about that, if not in this video, in an upcoming video on how to make them last longer. There's some guys out there that drill them and put a nut and bolt in them with some epoxy, and that's fine, but I use them all day every day, and I don't wear them out. Some guys say they go through multiple in a season, but that's because they're bumping it off of asphalt or cement, concrete, when it's spinning, and that wears them through really quickly. But if you bump them on the grass, you run the risk of scalping your grass. So I'll give you a clue in an upcoming video, a tip on how to make them last longer. It's a little bit of a hook for you to watch some of my upcoming videos. So let's put this together quickly because we have failing light. So this one comes with some string pre-wound on it. Not saying it's not good, but let's get it out because I don't like it, and it's not that long. My favorite string that I'm using these days is Shakespeare Ugly Line. There's all kinds of people. Some people like the Black Diamond that Echo makes, that's twisted. Some people like Oregon's Gator Line. Some people like Steel Line. Use what you like. I buy this in a 3-pound roll. It gives me 800 feet, and that lasts me a pretty decent amount of time. But the main reason I love buying it, one, it performs well. Two, you never have to look for something to cut your string with because it comes with an awesome little cutter right attached to the spool. I mean, you can't beat that. So we'll be using this length in a minute, and I do have a video on stringing that's specifically about how to spool up your speed feed. I'll put a link in the description below that goes through that a little bit more step by step, and I'll just do it quickly in this video. So let's put the speed feed head on this Toro attachment straight shaft trimmer. So what we're going to need, I need a spacer. Spacer just fits on the end there like that. You may not need a spacer. You may need it to fit a different way around. That'll be unique to your particular trimmer. Then we're going to put this as an assembly. It has the top cap, not the bottom cap, the top cap, and spool housing, and then this cup that I referred to. And remember, it's going to be the opposite on a straight shaft trimmer. So counterclockwise is going to tighten that on. So there, I'm hand tightening it. Once I get it as tight as I can, I'll put my screwdriver back in the hole and just give it a couple more turns. That's great. Then, really easy. So now you have that together. It's now basically like it was when I bought it, but now I have the internals to put it together as a speed feed, bump feed head. So, because it's a straight shaft trimmer, the spool goes in with the L facing out to you. If it's a curved shaft, it will be the reverse of that, and the right R will be facing you, and you'll be using this white cup along with whatever adapter fits your machine. Okay, so curved shaft gets white and the R facing out. Straight shaft, which I far prefer. I personally wouldn't waste my time or money on a curved shaft. They don't work well for me. They don't give me the reach, and because they don't have a gearbox, they don't have the power that these kind do with a straight shaft. It's up to you what you like. Some people that maybe are less tall prefer the curved shaft. They're definitely more suited to the homeowner than the professional. So let's put the L facing out. It drops in the slot like that. Now the bottom cap with the spring, it just lines up. It's got 2 tabs. Those tabs line up and click in like that. It's done. That's it. That's all there is to it. But Kirk, it doesn't have the string in it. That's really the beauty of the Speed Feed 400 head, and that's why I say for your $30, $35 US or your $45 to $50 Canadian, it's totally worth it. It turns your run-of-the-mill straight shaft trimmer, maybe like a Toro or a Husqvarna, or maybe you've got a Steel. It turns those into a Speed Feed bump head on it that is actually a treat to use. and to restring when it runs out of string, which is the bane of everybody's existence when it comes to string trimmers. So let's show you why I couldn't resist buying this, even though you could see I don't really need it. So there are arrows on the top cap, and you line those up with the eyelet. Remember, I put a video out there for you that goes through this exactly. Show you how fast this will be to get ready to put into service. That's close enough for a video. Alright, so it's not even because I just did it really quickly for you, but that's it. That's all. Now it's ready to use.